Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Tuesday edition of Video Clips, which is brought to you by Wellness Forum Health, the Wellness Forum Institute, and Make Americans Free Again. A couple things. First of all, if you have never been a member of Wellness Forum and you're thinking about joining, if you do that within the next 30 days, you will get a gift card equal to the amount of dues you pay. We have several levels of membership, and depending on what you invest, you get that much money back in the form of a gift card that you can use towards some of our programs. The second thing is if you are an existing member and you refer a never member who decides to join, you will get the same certificate as that person. Okay. So if you're interested in information about that, you send me an email at pampopper@msn.com. I want to remind everybody, just a month from now is our Cancer Summit, March 21st and 22nd, featuring a lot of guest speakers who are going to talk about special diets for cancer patients, including keto diets for advanced cancer patients, water fasting, trauma and cancer, recovery from trauma and cancer, developing a survival mindset, building a survival team, how to analyze the outcomes of conventional therapy, minimizing side effects of treatment, and on and on. It's a 2-day program, and you'll also hear from some of our cancer patients who've survived, and they will tell their stories. So don't put that on your calendar. Don't forget to register. We are going to fill this. We already have a lot of people enrolled in this program. So if you want information about that, you can go to our website, wellnessforumhealth.com, and look at the online calendar or send me an email. All right, so I have 2 news items today. I'm going to cover an inquiry from a subscriber that's kind of related to the second item, which has to do with the comparison of weight loss approaches, something that's really timely because of what's going on with the GLP-1 inhibitors, et cetera. So let's start with the first thing from a subscriber. I received this email. And it says, Pam, I love your videos and newsletter. And recently you mentioned being a high burner. Would you be able to create a video on what you mean and how to become one if that's possible? I'm almost 70 and would love to make some tweaks, become more lean and strong. I think all of us would like to be lean and strong. And that's the key to living to an old age and living independently to an old age, which we have fewer and fewer people doing these days. Very unfortunate. All right, well, here's my response. I am also almost 70. I'm going to be 69 this year. And it's not too late to become a lean, burning, healthy machine, as I call it. It starts with the right food. Carbohydrate provides energy to the body like gas fuels a car. And so this means eating mostly a plant-based diet comprised of starchy foods like beans and grains and potatoes and lots of fruits and vegetables. Ours is not a vegan diet. There are a lot of misunderstandings about that. I'm a well-known vegan and I like it, but there's no mandate to become vegan, and you don't have to do that in order to be healthy. So I would say most of our members continue to eat animal foods, which is fine as long as it's 2 to 3 times a week, organic and wild caught, and doesn't include dairy. Lots of clean water, at least 64 ounces a day. Building a strong muscular body, strength training a couple of weeks, aerobic exercise and yoga, and then sleep, stay in the best mental state possible and enjoy life. I think state of mind has a lot to do with how you age. Body composition matters a lot. Muscle burns more than fat, and carbohydrate plant foods increase metabolism more than high protein and high fat foods do. So you've heard this before, you are what you eat, and that really is true. You are the dietary pattern you eat. So the bottom line is that somebody like me, who's super fit and does strength training every week and yoga and aerobic exercise, and I eat a great diet and I sleep and I drink water, I do all those things. And by the way, it's not, I don't do perfection because that's a psychological disorder. So I'm happy to have a glass of wine with friends once in a while. And I really do like decadent birthday cake on my birthday. But the bottom line is that somebody like me can burn more calories while lying on the couch reading a book than some people will burn mowing the lawn or doing something much more aggressive. The biggest obstacle that I've encountered to get people to do this, and I wish everybody would do it, because if I'm going to live to be 100, I'd like to have some of you around so that I won't be by myself, right? But the first thing is people just postpone doing it. It sounds hard. I don't know what to do. I might have to pay somebody to help me. Joining Wellness Forum, for example, or delusional thinking. That's what I call it. People somehow think they're going to end up okay as they age, even if they don't change their ways. But the unfortunate thing is just look around. It's not likely to be true. We have an aging population that unfortunately is not aging well at all. Almost everybody claims today, for good reason, that they don't want to end up in a nursing home, but most people are not doing what they need to do to stay out of the nursing home and in their own homes. So I'll come back to how I started. It's a really good time to join because you get so much value for your money at this point in time while we're running this very special offer. And that brings me to another special offer. I'm putting on a free workshop on Wednesday, March 19th at 8. I'm going to cover three things. One is a little bit of information on how to do some research, how to investigate health claims on your own, how reporters distort data from studies, which you'll get good at spotting, how to determine if a recommendation from a doctor will benefit you, and what do you do when you seem to have two credible people who are putting forth different or confusing viewpoints. We'll cover that. We're going to talk about green tea and cancer specifically because a lot of confusion about it, but a lot of benefit to be had in some cases. And then the third thing is, why is it so hard to lose weight? I found a startling statistic I'm going to share with you. The failure rate for obese males trying to reach normal weight is 99.92%. For females, it's 99.85%. I mean, it's an incredible indictment for weight loss programs. They just don't work. And when I say weight loss programs, I mean anything ranging from drugs to dietary change that is designed to help people, lose weight, right? The failure rate is just astounding. So we'll talk about why these programs fail and how weight loss can be achieved. People do it. And we'll talk about how some of them do it. And I promise you'll be kind of surprised by some of what you hear. So that brings me to item number 3, which is a recent article posted on Medscape compared the effects of plant-based eating to bariatric surgery or drugs for weight loss. And the winner was plant-based eating. You won't be surprised to hear me say that. But I want to talk about this particular study was good. It was a study of studies, if you will. So first, bariatric surgery, a systematic review and meta-analysis of dozens of studies showed that 49% of patients who had gastric bypass surgery regained some weight, and many regained a significant amount of weight after they had the surgery. Most of the people who we talk to who are coming into Wellness Forum who've had bariatric surgery have eaten their way back into a full-sized stomach or some approximation of that. And they would say that this has been a failure. Then there are the GLP-1 inhibitors. One trial showed that patients lost weight, but a year after stopping the drugs, participants regained 2/3 of their weight back. I talked about this, it was either last week or a couple of weeks ago. People don't stay on the drugs. They're expensive. And one of the biggest things is side effects. And I'll just give you a few of them. Nausea, vomiting, and constipation. Well, people can handle that, I suppose, if they're losing weight. Gastroparesis, gallbladder and biliary disease, thyroid cancer, suicidal thoughts. The meds also increase the risk of vision loss, which does not return even if you stop the drugs. All this sounds pretty dismal, but the bottom line is there's a much better way to lose weight. Plant-based eating. A 5-year study compared a group of patients who consumed a plant-based diet, engaged in aerobic exercise, dealt with their stress, and had some group support as compared to a group that just did the usual weight loss stuff, all of which doesn't work, most of which doesn't work. The plant-based group lost almost 24 pounds at the end of a year and kept over half of it off 5 years later. Another study compared outcomes for patients who were obese or overweight with at least one comorbidity. One group consumed a low-fat, whole food, plant-based diet, while the other just got standard weight loss care. And at 6 months, BMI reduction for the plant-based group was 4.4 BMI reduction versus 0.4 for the standard group. Now, those are newer studies, but I found some that are 20 years old. One was a pilot study. There was no control group here. But the focus was on lowering fat, eating plant-based food, no portion control, no change in physical activity. And at 12 weeks, the average weight loss was 16 pounds. Fasting glucose dropped by 28%, and two-thirds of the patients reduced or eliminated medications. I found another study with female patients who were moderately overweight or obese but didn't have diabetes yet. They eliminated animal foods, reduced oils, no portion control. The control group just did the typical cholesterol lowering diet, more fish and chicken, less red meat, more fruit, vegetables, and legumes. At 14 weeks, the vegetarian group lost an average of 13 pounds, the controls 8, but the vegetarians' insulin sensitivity improved 24%. That's one of the things about using plant-based eating to lose weight is you get rid of a whole lot of other problems as well. So, and by the way, these studies are 20 years old, the two that I just mentioned, and I'll reiterate that we do not teach a vegan diet. I mean, we help vegans do it right if they want to. And again, I like eating a vegan diet, but the reality is you don't have to be vegan in order to regain and maintain excellent health. So I'll finish with this. You might have heard me talking about lately the problem with informed consent in medicine. It's an issue that I intend to tackle when the time is right for it. But there are laws in every state that mandate that when doctors tell you what's wrong with you, and let's say in this case you're overweight or obese, pretty easy to tell. You don't really need much diagnostic testing. You can look at yourself in the mirror and you know what's going on. What they're supposed to do is give you a recommendation, tell you the risks and benefits associated with it, and then tell you the other options that might be available to you. So here is what an informed consent talk might look like if physicians were taught how to do it, and also if they followed the law, which is they're supposed to do it. And they also knew how to help you the way that we help you at Wellness Forum Health to regain your health and lose weight using diet. So the physician would say to the patient, you're overweight, dangerously so in some cases, he might add, and you really need to do something about it. So here are your choices. We do offer bariatric surgery. I can refer you to somebody. Significant side effects associated with it. You'll likely gain some or all the weight back. You'll suffer from severe nutritional deficiencies that can't be addressed with supplements. You'll eat tiny amounts of food for the rest of your life, and if you get tired of it, you'll probably grow yourself a stomach as big as the one you had before, and the weight will come right back on. Another thing, we can put you on the new GLP-1 inhibitors or other drugs like those. Side effects can be serious and include loss of vision, suicidal thoughts, and cancer. If you stop the drugs, you'll regain most, if not all, of the weight. And they're expensive, and your insurance company may not pay for it forever if you're lucky enough to have that now. Or here's option 3. I can teach you how to eat a delicious plant-based diet, great food 3 to 6 times a day, as much as you want of it. Now, you will have to invest some time in learning how to do it and learn how to shop and cook and prepare food differently. You'll have to change your mindset about food and perhaps address some psychological issues that might stand in the way of progress. But if you do it and you're willing to put in the work, you'll achieve normal weight if you stick with it. And if you're taking drugs for conditions like blood pressure and type 2 diabetes, you might even be able to discontinue them. Which would you like to do? And I think most people would choose option 3 if they were given those choices. But the problem is people aren't given those choices. They ask for the drugs and they're prescribed, or sometimes they're even encouraged to take the drugs by physicians who maybe don't know that there are better options available and don't have time in a 7 to 15-minute visit, which is unfortunately what a lot of medicine consists of right now. So they don't have time to review these kinds of things. But all this means is that you're responsible for learning this information yourself and taking action yourself and doing what needs to be done for you to live a long and healthy life. Once again, nobody wants to end up in the nursing home, and I'm not planning to, you don't either. But in order for that to not happen, to live a great life for the full extent of your life, in other words, my saying is live long and die short, all right? Live until you die and then just die. If you want to do that, you're not going to do it if you're obese. You're not going to do it if you're taking lots of drugs for degenerative conditions. You're only going to do it if you decide that you're going to change your ways. So anyway, a couple things I'll remind you of. Don't forget our incredible special. Join Wellness Forum. You get a gift certificate for the amount of your dues to apply to other things. Refer somebody if you're a member. we offer you the same thing for whatever that person buys. Don't forget our free workshop in March, 3 hours of training, absolutely free. You can email Pam Popper at msn.com to sign up for it. And don't forget about our Cancer Summit. Cancer, unfortunately, is increasing, not decreasing in our society. But it's not a death sentence. It's certainly concerning. You have to do something about it. But a lot of people survive, and we're going to show you how they do it. All right, that's it for today. As usual, pass this on to anybody who you think would enjoy watching it, and I will be back to you on Thursday with more news. Thanks for watching.